Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Strip by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people. So today we have another episode. I almost forgot to introduce myself. So this happens every single time. I'm Steph, your podcast host. I am the creator of Strip by Sia, also an exotic dancer, at this point, former exotic dancer. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going back, but that's me. But we have a guest today by the name of Gypsy Ebony, who's joining us today. Hi! Say hello to the audience. It's funny because I think we have a couple of friends in common, and one of them was like, "Oh my god, you have to interview Gypsy. She's super cool. She has a lot to say. She's super opinionated." So then basically I messaged you on Instagram and slid into your DMs.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Hi." And then now you're here. So
hell yeah.
I don't know much about you, so I guess you can kind of go into things. Tell the audience who you are, what you do, in your own words, define who you are. It's a big question.
Cool. Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for speaking with me.
Anytime.
It's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, my pleasure.
My name's Ebony. I'm 22 years old from Vancouver.
You're a baby. 22
I'm a
years
baby.
Young. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and I guess just like you, I guess I can say former stripper. I don't really know if I'm going back after the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with that whole situation. It's almost been nearly a year since I've been booked. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of at this point, it's very odd even thinking about going back.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, we really value our own safety and health more than anything. So yeah, for me at least, that's a lot more important. And of course, I don't want to affect anyone that I care about either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah. And luckily, we can still make do from the comfort of our own bedroom,
which is great, and honestly, a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
Yeah, still a lot of work though. I feel it's almost more work just creating all the content and filming and everything, and just constantly being on your phone or being on your laptop. So
yeah, totally. I feel although it's kind of more work, I kind of needed that slap in the face to kind of make me more of a businesswoman and
totally
and have more of a routine.
Yeah, that's really important because I feel I just needed some more motivation as well, and really it's hard to stay motivated.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to make your own hustle and make your own hustle successful and fruitful. So it sure is challenging. But I guess since I don't know much about you, I guess you were a former stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So were you doing more VIP, stage, circuit? What kind of stripper? So many different kinds.
I was doing VIP. I went on stage a couple times, but for the most part, VIP.
Okay, cool. And that's where all the money is anyways, so
exactly.
Get on you. So how did you get into the whole industry? Because everyone has a different story. Everyone has different motivations. Where did you come from? How did you get introduced to it?
So, sex work and stripping in general has always been something that I've kind of been interested in.
Okay.
And then I think it was probably about, I just had my year anniversary. So it was a little over a year ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I had just, I was over having a regular, boring restaurant job. And honestly, the restaurant industry is kind of toxic in some ways.
Yeah. I'm from a restaurant background too, so I get you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I walked into Granville Strip at the time, and I gave it a go, and then it kind of stuck with me.
Oh my God. Like, did you do an amateur night there, or were you just like, I'm going to try, like, VIPing?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just walked in.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I want to work here. And the manager there was like, she told me to go buy my first pair of clear pleasers.
Yes.
And she said, come back tomorrow night and we'll get you all started. And I did that.
Oh my God, just like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And like the Granville Strip, we don't have a lot of dances on the podcast from the Granville Strip, but it is beautiful in there. You got like 15-foot poles there. Gorgeous. Nice layout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice in there. I only worked there the first time I ever worked, and then I moved on. Yeah, I went to number 5 after that.
Yes. We love the number 5.
Love it.
So fun. Okay, so like, did you have like any preference when you started too? Because like each club here in Vancouver is so different.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. How did you decide like with the Strip versus the 5 versus the Penthouse versus Brandy's? Like,
honestly, when I went to Granville Strip, I don't know. I guess that was probably the closest club to my house at the time.
Okay, comfort. Okay.
So that's, yeah. And also, this is so embarrassing, but I've never been inside a strip club.
What?
Before I went to audition.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, yeah, I kind of just didn't know what I was doing, and I walked in, and it just happened. But,
I love it.
Yeah, I really like the vibe of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Brandy's. I was going to start working there literally the day that they closed down.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah. For the pandemic.
Right. Fuck. Okay, so, well, that's another thing too, because that was recent in the news too. So you're talking like recent, like, before the pandemic happened, or like recently because they just closed down again because of COVID cases?
Oh, before the pandemic even happened. So this is like 4 months ago.
Oh, shit. Okay. Damn, because recently, I'm sure you heard the news.
I did.
Yeah, I had so many people tagging me in there because I've also danced, one time at Brandy's for an amateur night, but like everyone is like, did you hear about this? So
I think they were open for like 3 days too.
Yeah, it was like a week and then shut down.
That's crazy.
Which is
nuts.
That's
really unfortunate.
I know. I think it's such a missed opportunity and just really sad because, things are starting to open up again. Us dancers can start working again. We all miss the stage. So it's like really sad and unfortunate situation for that to happen, and so soon.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
So soon.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening now, we're probably going to be airing this in a couple weeks, so it's almost July now. But basically, Brandy's in Vancouver, they got a couple. Well, I'm not sure if they actually had confirmed cases of COVID there, but they had some suspected cases of COVID recently on like June 21, 22, 23, 24, which is, if you went, you should go, and if you're listening, you should go probably get yourself checked out. So, yeah, seriously speaking, like,
please stop the spread.
Yes, please wear a mask, please disinfect everything, like, do your part, right? Be responsible.
Yeah.
But, so, like, you had never been into, like, inside a strip club before. Like, that's so crazy. Did you have any kind of assumptions about it going into a club and visiting versus afterwards?
Not really. I think most of it was honestly just excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why I hadn't gone prior. I guess none of my friends would really go with me. I tend to hang around a lot of like gay men, and a straight strip club really isn't their vibe.
No. Oh, okay. So that's cool though. Like, because I feel like sometimes people will have a lot of misconceptions and assumptions going into it, some negative connotations in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
strip clubs and exotic dancers and the type of work that we do. So
Yeah.
yeah, like, and sometimes like when you actually start dancing and you like cross that line, it's you form like a really really different opinion once you meet everyone. And
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I was scared going into it. I was nervous, mainly just about the other girls, honestly.
okay.
Because I guess before I was in the industry, I heard that it can be competitive and some girls could be like catty or whatever.
Right. Like
Luckily, I don't think that's ever happened to me. I try and be like the really awkward, friendly girl in the dressing room.
I think I fall into the same category as you.
Yeah.
Like kind of like overly nice, but like weird.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely people probably thought I was weird.
I'd rather be weird than boring and normal, so.
Exactly.
So like how was your first time dancing, working the floor? Like how did you feel about that? Were you nervous at all?
I was nervous. I think alcohol really helped the nerves at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, at Granville Strip I had never danced at all. Like I'm a very awkward, like not fluid woman.
Yeah.
I guess. So yeah, I guess just pretty much learning how to dance on the spot was probably my biggest issue.
Hard. Yeah, and it's hard. And like dancing in pleasers too, which are super high.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was another story.
It's pretty much like dancing in stilts if you've never tried it before.
Yeah, and I'm 5'11", so wearing even the 6-inch shoes, I'm towering over the men.
Oh my gosh.
Just like towering over them.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You're so tall.
Yeah, that used to make me like insecure in the beginning, but now I just own it. Like I love wearing even my 7-inch heels.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And some guys are really into that too, just like very leggy and like long and
Oh yeah.
Something for everyone, right?
Exactly.
So also like another aspect about you, bringing race into the picture, you also identify obviously as Black.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I recently learned the term Afro-Indigenous.
Oh, okay.
Which is technically what I am. I'm mixed Cherokee Indian, Black, and white.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to start going by Afro-Indigenous. I said that at the protest, and
amazing.
It kind of just has like a little ring to it.
Totally. And that's the first time I've heard of that term. So thank you for educating me and sharing that.
Yeah. That's a cool term.
Very cool term. And obviously, like, how does race play a part in your identity and who you are, and even as a dancer too?
Growing up, it was kind of difficult because I grew up half in Toronto, half in Vancouver.
Okay, and so different there too.
Yeah, and especially as a young kid, Vancouver, I found, was more hard.
Oh.
Just because there's not that many Black people here, to be honest.
Yeah, there's not, especially when you come from Toronto. It's like a lot more populated over there. There's more of like a sense of community.
Yeah. So always in Vancouver, I've always just felt, I guess just like a lack of community and belonging in that spectrum.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of like being at the club, I mean, there's always little things like people calling you the Black girl, or I guess I'm more like I don't know. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, no, if you feel like sharing, like, by all means, please do. And, like, if you want to talk about the topic of tokenism, because that is a very real thing, like, please do.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, again, like, there not being a lot of Black people in Vancouver, oftentimes you will be, like, the token Black girl at, like, a party or a gathering and stuff, too. Like, how does that make you feel?
It's kind of like, I mean, I am a token, so, like, that's good. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess I'm just used to it now.
Okay. And it doesn't have to be, like, a negative thing, and you could totally own it, too, right? Which it sounds like you definitely do, so.
Mm-hmm. It took a couple years of self-love and just learning that not everywhere in the world is kind of the way that Vancouver is, in the sense of there barely being any Black people.
Yeah, I know. Vancouver is like a special case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not as diversified as, say, Toronto in terms of the Black community. Like, here, I would say we're pretty diverse culturally, I would say, with a lot of, like, Asian people, which is me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of us here, but, like, sometimes if there isn't, like, a huge presence, it can make you feel a bit isolated. Have you ever felt like that?
Yeah, totally. Even, like, this is a little on a smaller scale, but even when I go and get my hair done at places, it's always a challenge because I have half Black hair, and all of these salons don't really know how to
treat it,
deal with a little bit of texture.
Yeah.
And then I was also acting for a while, and all the makeup artists on set don't know how to do makeup on, like, a light-skinned girl. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I don't even think about that sometimes too. But that is a very real thing, and in terms of like colorism too. Like, there is quite a spectrum in terms of Black, but also like other races as well. But
totally,
I wonder, like, on the topic of colorism, do you ever find that you're treated better because you're more, like, lighter skinned at all?
Yeah.
What's that process like?
I do still have, I don't know if I can call it white privilege.
Yeah, or like preferential treatment.
Yeah, because I'm not a dark-skinned Black person, I definitely feel like I do have more privilege, and people look at me differently, which is ridiculous. I feel like regardless of what skin color you are, everyone should be looked at the same.
Definitely, 100%. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But as much as that is very alive and real, I try and use that to further educate myself and other people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, not take advantage of it, I guess.
Yeah, totally. And, like, of course, like, that you can definitely benefit from that too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a very, very challenging / like very fine line to kind of dance around, right? So, well, I guess on the topic of that, we can kind of move into the topic of BLM, Black Lives Matter, because this is a bonus episode on the Black Lives Matter movement. Where I really wanted to highlight some select Black sex workers within our circle here in Vancouver, but also elsewhere too. So I had reached out to a couple people, and I chose to do a couple episodes on this, obviously because I was doing a COVID series before, but I really wanted to emphasize this movement just because I think it's a really good opportunity. But yeah, like, so, like, when I was wrapping up my COVID series, I already knew that I wanted to do a few episodes highlighting the Black Lives Movement, and also just having the opportunity to highlight some great Black sex workers. And I had contacted you. I also contacted a couple other people. I interviewed Kashai Gray last week, and she's really great. Yeah, so I just really think it's a good opportunity, in my opinion, to say something rather than be silent and complacent.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so for me, it's always like more important to do that. And also if it's an opportunity to educate, because I'm also still learning through this process, like I think it's beneficial as well. But I actually like received some backlash a little bit. Well, not backlash, but a pushback, I would say. So a dancer that I had reached out to, and I understand where she's coming from completely with the timing, but she felt that, you know, she didn't want to be the token Black girl on my podcast. I'm like, well, I've definitely interviewed a few different Black dancers on my podcast way before pandemic, way before, you know, the Black Lives Movement was really amplified. And like, it's would really say that, you know, I'm pretty sensitive to a lot of racial topics and just like culture in general. So I thought that was like a really sad, like missed opportunity.
Oh, totally.
But so like, I really, really want to thank you for coming on. I really want to emphasize, I'm not trying to make you the token person, the token Black person on my podcast. It's not the case. But again, like having this opportunity to speak with someone and also having an opportunity to educate me and also the audience on this, I think is the bigger responsibility here. So thank you again.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And like, I'm still learning. Everything has been a little overwhelming. So I don't know like everything about everything that's going on, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah, and that's all you can really ask for during this time. Like, it's such a sensitive time, but if you can learn something from this and have a takeaway, I think that is super, super, super important. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll like tread lightly into this topic. Black Lives Matter. So, and I really, really want to like, yes, they absolutely do. So, talking about specifically here in Vancouver, there is a Black Lives Matter movement here in Vancouver, which calls on the city to dismantle systems of violence and oppression. So you were at the anti-racism rally and the Black Lives Matter march that happened on Juneteenth. So that was June 19th. Yeah. So tell us about that. Like, were you at the other protests and stuff too? Were you present there?
Yeah. I went to the other protests with my friends, and then the minute that I saw the Freedom March was happening, I noticed they posted something saying that there was going to be artists and performances as well as speakers. So I just went to their Instagram page and sent them an email and was like, hey, I'm a queer Afro-Indigenous woman. Like, I wrote a song for the BLM movement. I want to perform it.
Oh my gosh.
And then they just invited me and I hopped on board, and it was an awesome, awesome day. It was really, honestly, like one of the most beautiful things, well, kind of bittersweet things, I guess, was seeing the march come in to the stage area at Sunset Beach.
Right.
Because, it ended and everyone walked up. So it was just a huge crowd of people walking towards me.
That is so incredible, because that was like so the march started at Jackal Plaza, went down, and then ended at Sunset Beach. That must have been so moving for you, too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It was really cool. It was bittersweet. It was a very cool opportunity for me as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But the subject matter is a little sad. I wish I wouldn't have to be writing songs and singing and speaking about this, but...
Right, and that's what you were kind of referring to in terms of like a bittersweet moment.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, it is such a heavy topic, but it's also really important that we talk about it, which is why you're here, so...
Yeah.
So tell us, so that's really, really cool that they, like, you just sent them in, like, a message, you know, accepted you, they invited you. That's super awesome. Like, how did the performance go? What was it about? Like, in terms of, like, the lyrics, obviously, we know the subject matter.
Yeah, so I started off, as soon as I got on stage, I grabbed the mic and I called out some people.
Okay.
a few friends that I noticed were staying silent.
Oh.
I'll go into the story a little bit.
Yeah,
just
please.
To give you some background.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So pretty much, I've noticed quite a few people deciding to stay silent and not really talk about what's going on. Mm-hmm. One of them was one of my good friends who actually, she saw the photo shoot that I most recently did with a Black photographer.
Okay.
And she wanted to use these photos and print them up and put them up in her new apartment and use it as, like, artwork.
Okay.
She's one of the people who is staying silent, and just the way that I took that and interpreted that was, you can use my body as a conversation piece, but can't have a conversation about my body.
Right.
And when she was asked on why she wanted to stay silent, she just said she wanted to keep her Instagram positive. And honestly, this isn't like, this is a human rights movement. It doesn't come down to, like, keeping your Instagram positive. It's a completely different spectrum, and I just feel like that was a shitty excuse.
Yeah, it's really tone deaf. You know, like, this is about humanity. They're about lives and living people. It's not something that you just put on your mantelpiece as a decorative piece. Like, I would have taken offense to that too.
Yeah, so I pretty much just called her out, and then I introduced myself, and then I went into my song. There was a little bit of technical difficulties. It probably felt like it lasted longer than it actually did, because I was so just, like, in the clouds. But yeah, I sang my song, and I just remember I was so nervous because I've never sang in front of that many people.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked up, and my view was just, like, a whole bunch of beautiful people in the crowd, and then Sunset Beach and, like, palm trees and the ocean, and
that's amazing.
It was just great.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like such a surreal experience, like, out of body, just, like, doesn't even sound real.
Yeah, it didn't feel real.
Oh my gosh. And that's a lot of people. There's thousands and thousands of people that came out to that march too. Mm-hmm. It takes a good amount of bravery to do that as well.
Yeah, they even had, like, this huge screen. So, like, it was very cool.
Can you tell us more about your song? Obviously, the inspiration behind it. If you want to go into the lyrics, or if you even want to sing part of it, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. I kind of have morning voice right now, so I won't sing it.
That's okay.
But I can quickly read the lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go into it.
Cool. So the song is called "I Can't Breathe." Mm-hmm. Obviously relating to George Floyd.
Yeah.
And yeah, I pretty much wrote it about my experience with this person who wanted to use my art but couldn't have the conversation. So
Right.
Yeah. So it starts off saying, "I don't know what to say. Your silence demonstrates your incompliant state. I wish that you could say something to show you're brave. No way to feel the same as me. You turn the lights off and suddenly you hear me. My voice is so loud, but you don't hear me when I say I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Don't you see me suffocating? I scream because you've betrayed, can't talk but can display. My body is not made for this. I watch you switch it off just like that because you can't take it much longer. You see us in color. Wow. Don't you see me? I'm suffocating." And then, it just goes into the chorus again.
Oh my gosh, that's incredibly powerful. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song.
Thanks. I put it on my SoundCloud, so
okay.
If anyone wants to hear it, they can go actually listen to the song and not just me reading it.
Yeah, I can definitely plug in the link in the show notes as well. Cool. So it'll be in the link down below, guys. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, it's very heavy to sing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, even just looking back on the lyrics, I haven't looked at them since I sang that.
Yeah, it sounds like it was really difficult even for you to like write that. Like what was your process? Obviously we know the story behind it, but can you go into the songwriting process too? What those words
Yeah,
meant to you?
for this song in particular, I was asked to write a song for the BLM movement for Surrey Pride.
Okay, crazy.
Yeah, so I wrote it in like 10 minutes, day of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was stressful. I found a beat that I really liked, and in this beat, there's 2 points in the song. The first point, the music kind of dims down, and you just hear kind of like a bunch of kids playing in a playground.
Okay. Wow.
And then the second part, near the end of this song, the music dies down and it's police sirens.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that the beat really, really inspired me.
Okay. I think I found your SoundCloud, by the way. I'm going to play this later. I'm going to try to
Cool.
find it. Yeah, I'm trying to like search you on like SoundCloud right now.
Cool. But yeah, for me with writing, I've always just been like, I can get out songs in 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
As soon as I start writing, it's kind of like I puke it out of me.
Oh my gosh.
It just comes so quickly.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Hang on. What is your SoundCloud name?
I think it's just Ebony Fisher.
Found you. Okay. This is so cool. Do you mind?
Yeah, it's called I Can't Breathe.
Do you mind if I play it right now, like a little clip of it?
Of course.
Okay, let's go into it. Hopefully this works.
I don't know what to say. Your silence demonstrates your incompliant state. I wish that you could say something to show you're brave, but no way to feel the same as me. You turn the lights on.
Oh wow, this is so cool. I hear what you say.
Yeah.
Wow.
My voice is so loud, but you don't hear me when I say that I can't breathe.
This is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to listen to this later. This is incredible. Oh my God.
Thanks.
Your voice is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. You're so talented.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I'm feeling so like, wow, flushed about that too. And I could really hear the struggle in your voice, you know, singing those lyrics. So, wow. So you guys will have to check that song out. It's called I Can't Breathe by Gypsy Fisher. I'm going to put it down in the show notes for sure. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So, wow, I'm feeling like overwhelmed. Just like I feel like I need like a minute to digest that.
Oh my gosh. You can take a minute. That's fine.
So incredible.
I was holding my breath when you were listening to it.
It's just so beautiful. I was like, oh my God, I want to listen to the whole thing.
Thank you.
Crazy. So it's really nice that you wrote that, obviously, for two things, too. So So like a couple intersecting layers here. So one being Afro-Indigenous and also two being queer. So how is that, your sexual identity, how has that been in Vancouver and also like doubling up with your racial identity?
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty lucky. I found my tribe pretty early on in the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt very... I recently came out as a lesbian. Before then, I was identifying as bisexual.
Okay.
but yeah, everyone's always been very loving and accepting of me, and
that's awesome.
And all my friends are just the gayest. It's great.
That's awesome. And like,
yeah,
it's
my kind of, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say my, like, for the past few years, since I moved out, pretty much my area that I hang out is Davie Street.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty known.
And it's such a great neighborhood. I actually used to live on Davie and Jervis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a few years ago. Now I'm in the West End / East Van as well. So, but it's a great community out there.
It's so good. You can literally, even on like a Wednesday night, if you're just feeling low, you can walk up the street and have a great night.
Yes. There's no shortage of fun on Davie Street at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely like really, really lucky to be in Vancouver too, where it's just super accepted here.
Yeah, totally. There's some, honestly, when I'm with my ex-girlfriend, we would notice going anywhere other than Davie, if we were to be holding hands or be affectionate towards each other, we definitely get some looks and some comments.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Even like, yeah, to this day. The other day we were walking home actually, and I guess we were at Crab Park.
Okay, yeah. I love hanging out there.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so chill.
And we might have been like making out or something, I don't know. But as we were walking home, there was this group of like guys that started mocking us.
What?
Like making a bunch of kissy faces, being like, yeah, you guys were making out in the park. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so what?
So what? She's my girlfriend. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's just unnecessary. That kind of ticked me off a little bit, but whatever.
It just really boggles my mind that kind of shit still happens in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Or just anywhere. It doesn't matter about Vancouver, but like still, like that kind of behavior is still rampant.
Yeah, I just don't know like what that person gets out of that. Because like obviously I know I was making out with a girl. I was doing it.
Yeah. I was participating in that, so
yeah. Like I'm proud of it. That's why I was doing it. So you mocking me really isn't going anywhere. You're just making yourself look like a fool.
Yeah, totally. 100%. Oh, gosh. Yeah, like that's just so unfortunate that kind of behavior is still happening and also still kind of tolerated too. And like, why did that bother you? You know?
I honestly, I don't know. I feel like in terms of like lesbians, maybe in Vancouver at least, maybe you don't see as many femme couples out on the street together. And yeah, like I feel like it's more normalized now to see two gay men together than two women. So maybe that.
That's really an interesting observation that you made there. Because I feel like
I've definitely, that's just like from personal experience. Even on Davie Street, I see more like gay men than women at all.
Yeah. That's a really interesting statement. Yeah, I have to almost kind of agree with that. And that's a really fascinating hierarchy within the queer community. You know what I mean? It's almost like as if like two gay men, that is socially acceptable, but anything that is out of that box is not. Yeah,
it's not fair.
No, it's definitely not fair. And like stuff like this seems super elementary to me. Like that, it's just why can't just two people just love each other and no one else is in that relationship? Why does it have to bother other people? Like, it's super backwards. Super crazy to
it's weird. And then also when like I just feel like there's a lot of like sexualization of lesbian couples as well.
Yes.
Which, like, I don't look at your relationship and sexualize it. Why are you? It's just weird.
It's just gross. It's really gross in terms of, like, it's almost like a double standard, you know, like, and it's really, really old school. It's like, oh, 2 gay men, gross. And then you see 2 gay women and you're like, oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Like, why is that even a conversation?
Yeah, it's backwards.
It's disturbing. I really hope you don't have to go through this, you know, like, unfortunately, it does happen, and that's still
honestly, like, these experiences just make you a little naive that the world still is this way. Yeah. And I need to proceed with
caution and, like,
yeah. Well, I mean, with power and with caution. I don't want to be scared and hold any part of me back, but also I have to be safe, especially because I am, like, Afro-Indigenous too. I just got to be safe.
No, totally. Like, there's so many intersecting layers there.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, makes you more of a target for, you know, or, like, for people to police your behavior, police your body. Like, it's being a person of color and also identifying sexually as, you know, not heteronormative, unfortunately, can still be dangerous in the city. And of course, like, you definitely want to take your safety very seriously. So I'm so glad we brought that into conversation today as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's so many other things I wanted to talk about too. Oh my God. Again, it's such a big topic. I'm like, should I have another bonus episode on this? Like, because I also want to talk about, like, you know, the spike in racism, not just because of COVID, but also, like, just everything. And I feel like with the whole House of Commons thing with Jagmeet Singh and that him being silenced, and just, like, people outside that I have seen, like, you know, Karens, like, calling out and silencing people of color. Like, I was just at Sunset Beach, what was it, last week, and I saw a Karen. There was a Venezuelan busker who was performing, like, singing all these beautiful songs in Spanish. And then this white woman came up and was like, I've lived here for 26 years and you're not allowed to do this and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, where did you come from and who asked for your opinion?
Yeah, like, chill out. Let us listen to some music.
Yeah, we need more art in the city. So, like, go home.
Totally. Vancouver needs all the art it can get.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I don't know. It's the whole, like, tough on crime approach and stuff that the conservative government put in, it obviously, like, isn't working. And especially for people of color, but, like, specifically for people that identify and are of, like, the Indigenous and Black community. Like, you keep hearing all these stories lately in the news. There's a lot of Indigenous people getting just abused by police, being killed by police. Like,
it's scary.
It's very scary. Do you have anything you want to share on that front? Or your opinion? Like, it's really a heavy topic.
Yeah, it's honestly, like, I don't know, the world is very scary right now. I was just at Donair Dude the other night getting some food.
I love that place.
And me too. And these 2 police officers walked in and, like, I mean, I don't know if they're just, like, weren't thinking about it, but then again, like, you should be thinking about this. But anyways, one of the police officers just started striking up conversation with me to the point where it was, like, it was a little, like, Like, I just wanted to be left alone. Like, I'm a young Black girl. The world is crazy right now. I don't want to be talking to a police officer.
Yeah. Like, come on.
He just kept, like, asking me really weird questions, like if I liked pineapple on my donair, and
what?
I said no, and he's like, oh, well, you gotta try it. And I was like, maybe next time. And he's like, no, really, try it now.
No.
And I was like, no, I don't want pineapple.
That sounds disgusting.
And I just feel like, maybe he's just super friendly, but the state of the world right now is just not the time and place, dude.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, like, insensitive. Like, have you been living under a rock lately, or?
Yeah.
That sounds, like, super odd.
Yeah, and I don't know. Everything's just so overwhelming and really upsetting.
Very, very upsetting. Like, I just want things. I just want change to happen.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I want. And it seems like a lot of people want that as well. And, like, why is it taking so long? And how many more people have to die or suffer?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's, again, very, very heavy. And I feel like we're not asking for a lot, you know?
Yeah, but not at all. Not at all. But if there's any American listeners to this podcast, please register to vote.
Yes, please. Make change happen. It's in your hands. It's also your civic duty.
Yeah, literally. And there's not many people talking about this right now because there is so much going on. And I think it is kind of distracting people a little bit from the fact that there are elections at the end of this year.
Yes. 100%.
And that is like the most secure way of guaranteeing change.
Yes.
Is by voting. Yes.
Cannot stress that enough. And yes, there are about 27% of this podcast, I think, is American.
Perfect.
So yes, this message is all for all our American friends out there.
Yeah, perfect.
Please vote. Cool. Well, with that, like, why don't we go into some Q&A? There's just a couple questions here.
Cool.
What is one thing you will never do again? So deep.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I know.
One thing I'll never do again.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
And I guess it could be in any kind of context because they didn't say anything else in the question, so it's really up to you.
I guess one thing I'll never do again. Drugs.
What kind of drugs? Anyone in particular?
Cocaine. I won't do that ever again.
And cocaine is so rampant in Vancouver too.
Totally, especially on Davie Street.
Do you have any like particular reason why, or is it just?
Yeah, I really lost myself to partying for a couple years there.
Okay.
And it was my 7-month sober anniversary yesterday.
What? Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's an incredible achievement.
Thanks.
Huge milestone.
Yeah, it's honestly just like, it drains your wallet. It drains your energy. It makes you make decisions in life that they're illogical.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it just becomes, I don't know.
It's very consuming.
Yeah, very consuming. I don't need or want that in my life at all anymore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I, as a person that has only done edibles,
those can hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I have stories. Yeah, I won't go into it now, but yeah, I try to be pretty drug free for most of my life, and that's my decision. I just feel like I like to be in control of what's happening, and sometimes it can be really, really hard to handle when you're high. And or if you're like around people you're not comfortable with, like it's not a fun high anymore. So
yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, it stops becoming fun when it's something that you do every day.
Right. It gets old quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another question here. Do you ever have singing gigs in the city? And where can we find
you? I guess not right now.
Not right now.
Just because everything is closed.
Yes.
But when things open back up, I'll be performing on Davy quite a bit.
Oh, really? Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll just do like drop-ins at the drag shows. I also started doing drag over the pandemic.
Did you? Fun.
Yeah. all my
fun.
friends are very successful drag performers. So
cool.
I'm excited to finally join them.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I have so many questions for you. That's amazing.
Ask away.
Yeah, like, well, I know this is such a tangent, but like, how did you get started into drag?
So all my friends, pretty much for the most part, are all performers.
Cool.
Drag for the past few years has made me very, very just happy. It's going to the shows and seeing my friends expressing themselves and just having a good time is really inspiring.
Yeah, totally.
I was supposed to premiere and I was going to sing live at my friend Continental Breakfast and PM. They have a show called Late Night Snack.
Cool. Okay.
And I was supposed to do my drag premiere there, but about like 2 hours before the show started, they announced they had to close it because of COVID.
No! Oh my god! Damn it!
So I just became a bedroom drag queen and just did makeup looks in my bedroom.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And do you do male drag then?
No.
Or female?
I do, I guess, female, I guess you could call it. I kind of, the way that I describe my drag is just like arts and crafts on my face.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's really
it's
cool.
very weird.
But also very explorative.
Yeah.
And transformative
totally.
too.
I did this one look where I did like half of my face as a sun. I really liked that one.
That's awesome.
Then I've done like a lightning strike down my face. I've come up with some cool ones.
I need to see this. Do you have like a drag Instagram or anything like that?
No, it's just on my regular Instagram right now.
I'm going to be creeping you later.
Cool.
But I guess like on that note, where can we find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at Gypsy Ebony. So GYPSYEBONI.
Perfect.
And then I also have a SoundCloud, which is just soundcloud.com/Ebony Fisher.
Yes.
Ebony with an I.
Awesome. Great.
And yeah. Oh, and then also, if you want some sexy content, go to xfxsxr.com. And that's my OnlyFans. So.
Oh, okay. Wait, can you say that again? XFXR? Wait, what?
XFXSXR.
Okay. So like a Discord handle. Okay, cool. Like I'm gonna have to like listen to this again. .com. Okay, awesome. Yes. I'll be plugging all of these links in the show notes below, so make sure you check Ebony out. And I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and sharing your beautiful music. It was so inspiring and beautiful, and I'm gonna have to listen to that right after this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you again for coming onto the show. Like, it was such a pleasure. And don't forget, guys, I think there's going to be an episode next week, every Sunday again. And don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, share, follow, all the things. It's Strip by Sia on Instagram, as well as my personal, which is Sia Steph. And we'll catch you guys in again soon. Thanks again. Bye. to Stripped by Sia, produced and hosted by Steph Sia, aka Kimchi, music by Ted D, photography by Ian Dabern, and graphics by